that, I will love to welcome Mayor, Vice Mayor Teresa Fox. Thank you so much for gracing us today.
Do you know what time it is? It's CoHNA time. That's what time it is. I'm Teresa Fox, Fremont Vice Mayor. It's a pleasure to be here. But we all know today is going to be a new day. Last Tuesday, the city of Fremont had passed Hinduphobia proclamation. It was something that no one that has selected Fremont, or I say the Bay Area for that matter, that lives in Fremont or beyond should be faced with any type of discrimination or anything that would be against any other human being. I have come from the background being the first Afro-American female with a degree in nuclear engineering. Even before that, I know what it's like to be discriminated. When I grew up in Ohio, my family was the first to offer a position with a fellow Hindu physician to open a practice together because we're serving in the underserved community. It's about saving lives, health, wellness. So what did they do? They opened a practice. Not only just a practice, it was a clinic, a lab, it was a one-stop shop with a mini hospital. That's where I come from the very beginning of my roots, that my family has always been standing with others because it's the right thing to do. And as Dr. Martin Luther King always said, the time is always right to do the right thing. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Yeah. Yes. I also have worked at the White House and had the pleasure of meeting and working with Coretta Scott King.
Wow.
During that time, I got appointed to be on the Martin Luther King Commission. And it's not just Martin Luther King for that one day that we celebrate, that all of us come together to do community service, but to get rid of anything that divides our community and puts barriers in our community. It's a day that all of us mend relationships, form harmony, form peace, because we know that the test of all of us is just mutual respect and dignity. In addition, being on City Council for Fremont, I passed back in 2021, with the help of my City Council, was Freedom Day. That's June 19th, Freedom Day, to be free from all the barriers that separate us, from anything from race, religion, sexual orientation, anything that divides the community. That's why I passed it and led the action to pass the initiative, because I want everybody to know we should be living free here in the United States. And additionally, all of you, we've worked together. The Indian community has always, I've been with you from day one. Even when I was at Ohlone College serving for 12 years, fighting for education, it was for everyone. Equal access, equality. All of that was to help us have a better community so we could work together. I also made sure we even passed the India Independence Day and the Indian Republic Day while I was there at Ohlone College. And I have continued in my role since working from the White House, being with Trade Advisor with President Obama, and going on to the last three presidents, to the current president, President Biden, that I serve in a role not only for Trade Advisor, but it's about how do we promote international trade for small businesses. It's to help, again, break the barriers for us to be able to do business in our community, big and small. And some of you may know me from working through the County of Santa Clara as a procurement executive, that I'm also trying to break down the barriers of how we can help the small businesses as part of this economic recovery. So I'm continuing to work with all of you, and will continue. because it's the right thing to do, and it's also to provide all of us to have diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community, and fight against the things that divide our community, that divide all of us. Because really, it's not just this generation. I'm a mother of 2 children. And some of you have seen me take my children to all kinds of events. And it's because I want them to know how to work with every single community. It doesn't matter. It's about what's on the heart. As Dr. Martin Luther King always said, the 4 little girls is not to be judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. Yes. That's how we work together. And get rid of the things that break down the barriers. Because I serve on City Council, I'm not able to express any opinion on SB 405 because my jurisdiction, the only thing that I have is basically in the city of Fremont, okay? That's what you elected me to do. And I'm going to run for 2024. I'm putting it out there, and I need all of your support. I'm not afraid to continue to fight for what's right in our community. And you know, there was always times when I always had to get on my knees. Charity, hope, and faith. Those are my 3 missions in life. And it's provide hope that everyone can work together, because we are only one community. And you know, through COVID, we all had to come together to depend on each other. There was no difference of races. It was everybody was fighting the human race against this virus, and we're still fighting it. And other things will come along, but we got to do it together. That's what the mission is, for all of us to be able to do it together. The other part that I want to mention is that I'm going to need all of your help to make sure that anything that happens, some of you are living in fear, and I want to thank also my dear friend 𝗣𝗂𝘂𝗰𝘀𝘀 for inviting me, and also the president of this fine organization of CoHNA, because this is where we can talk candidly more than at a cocktail reception, right? I'm just being real, right? Hi and bye, see ya. So, but what I'm doing is that, you know, if there's others that feel uncomfortable in answering, you know, questions or coming forward, please see me. Because the number one thing is this: if we don't talk about it, the story never goes away. It dies. And we got to continue talking about the reality, because I'm not afraid to talk about the good, the things that we need to improve upon, because that's how we're going to become better in our community. And I want to thank all of you for coming out to be able to show the support, but also that I've got to try to make sure that we provide harmony and peace in our community as a leader.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I just want to mention one other thing, is that my mother always mentioned, and she was talking about when communities succeed, it's about when minorities and women succeed in our community. So do our community. So my mother always said, you got to practice the 3 B's. You got to be quick, you got to be good, and you got to be gone. And I'm just going to mention, if you need to get a hold of me, the best way is I do have a website, www.Teresa, I don't spell it with an H, TERESACOX.org. If you have any questions or you want to meet with me for coffee, because I want you to know that I don't want anybody to live here in fear. Your taxes paid for all the things we do at City Council, including that proclamation we passed this past Tuesday. It's your money at work. And if you want to pass another proclamation, so be it. I'll help you show you how you can submit it. But because it is something that is your right, you have a right to speak. I only work for you because you elected me, and I'm held accountable to you to make sure we do what's right in our community. So again, feel free to reach out to me. Go down to the end of my webpage, and you can enter in your contact information. I will follow up with you, just like I've been meeting these last 2 weekends with various folks. We started what time? 8:30 in the morning, right? I told her I had 12 events in 1 weekend, okay? And I still had to go to work on Monday morning. And I had to take kids to school, okay? So we work all things in, but I'm also proud because my 2 kids, this coming May, they're going to be graduating. I have one that came from Irvington High School. He was the first African-American ever elected to be treasurer for 2 years at Irvington High School. His friends were the Rainbow Coalition. And when I went as the team mother, as a volleyball team mother, I would say, okay, now 𝗚𝘂𝘂𝘀𝘀, I want you to bring the coffee. Now I want you, Dad, to bring the snacks, and I want somebody else to bring some pizza, because these kids got to eat. So that in itself, when you see the banner at Irvington High School, true story. My son, I'm very proud of, he's a legacy. His picture is on the wall with as much diversity as it can be. Together, they went to the state championship. First school in Fremont to ever go to state championship in volleyball, and that was across all the sports. They went first and beat out 𝗣𝗚𝘂𝘂𝘀𝘀 and Amador. And can you imagine similar schools in Pleasanton and Concord? They had to form the words that Irvington won. And we replay that on Cal Sports, if some of you want to follow sports. The other thing is I'm also equally proud of my daughter. She's graduating from Archbishop Mitty. She's been part of the basketball program. And she is now training with the Golden State Warriors in her training. They adopted her into a mentorship program, and now she's going to be playing. So y'all going to have to pray and come up to the watch parties up in starting in the fall, because she's going to be an incoming freshman at San Francisco State on their basketball team majoring in environmental science.
Awesome.
But all of this is because you've seen my kids with me. And my kids, and I want to continue the generation, because there should be children here too, to hear all of this, because that's part of our next generation of educating and keeping the fight going to make sure our community is safe, not just for this generation, but for generations going forward. Wrong is wrong and right is right. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you so much for having me today. God bless you all, and let's work together for equality, diversity, equity, and equality and inclusion, because no one should live in fear.
Thank you.
Thank you.